Your mind is the most powerful and complex computer in the known universe. It has a potential for breathtaking calculations, for creating magnificent works of art, for designing empires, and for navigating the most intricate of human relationships. The hardware you were born with is, by its very nature, a masterpiece of potential. But let me ask you a critical question. What software is it running? Because a powerful computer running on slow, outdated, and virus-infected software is not just inefficient. It is a source of constant frustration. It crashes at the worst possible moments. It is vulnerable to external attacks. It runs the same flawed programs over and over again, getting stuck in loops of self-sabotage. This is the state of the modern man. He possesses incredible hardware, but he is running on a base level, instinctual programming that is no longer fit for the complexities of the modern world. There are 3 levels of software, 3 operating systems that a man can run. The vast majority of men live and die running on the most basic of them all. This is the BIOS man. He is running on pure, instinctual reactive code. A smaller, more disciplined group of men undertake the great and difficult work of performing a system upgrade. They install a powerful, logical, and effective software suite on top of their base programming. This is the OS man. He is a man of logic, of rules, and of control. And then there is the final, transcendent stage. This is the man who understands the entire system so deeply that he is no longer just a machine running the software. He has achieved administrative access. He is the user, the conscious, wise awareness that sits behind the screen, using both the BIOS and the OS as tools, a slave to neither. Today, we are your technicians. This is a masterclass in psychological engineering. We will first help you run a full diagnostic on your current system to see the flawed and outdated code that is running your life. And then, we will give you the official installation guide for making the first great upgrade, the ascension from the chaotic reactivity of the BIOS man to the powerful, logical framework of the OS man. Let's begin by putting your own system under the microscope. Let's diagnose the reality of the BIOS man. BIOS stands for Basic Input-Output System. It is the most fundamental layer of programming in a computer, the code that allows the hardware to function at its most primitive level. For a man, your BIOS is your evolutionary, instinctual programming. It is the ancient code written in your DNA for survival, procreation, and the pursuit of status. It is the home of your raw, untamed emotions, your primal drives, and what the psychologist Carl Jung would call your shadow. This base code is not evil. It is, in fact, the source of your greatest power. But left unchecked, it is a source of pure chaos. The BIOS man is a man who is running his entire complex life using only this primitive software. His existence is one of pure stimulus and response. Let's look at his programs. When he feels the input of perceived threat to his status, a criticism, a joke at his expense, the BIOS runs the ego defense.exe program, and the output is uncontrolled anger or sullen defensiveness. When he feels the input of a potential romantic partner showing interest, his BIOS runs a procreation drive exe program, and the output could be a reckless pursuit that ignores all logic and integrity. When he feels the input of that partner pulling away, his BIOS runs a fear of abandonment exe program, and the output is a virus of jealousy, control, and neediness that corrupts his entire system. The BIOS man is a passenger in his own machine. He is a collection of automatic programs, most of which were written for a world that no longer exists. His inner life is a constant series of glitches and crashes. He often looks back at his own behavior with a sense of confusion, as if someone else was at the controls. And, in a way, he is right. He was not in control. His base programming was. Worse still, this base code is vulnerable to malware. Your past traumas, your negative childhood conditioning, your limiting beliefs, these are viruses that have infected your BIOS. They are corrupt files that cause your system to repeatedly malfunction in predictable ways. This is why you find yourself repeating the same mistakes in relationships over and over again. You are running a program infected with a virus, and you cannot understand why you keep getting the same blue screen of death. If you recognize these automatic, outdated, and often destructive programs running your life, if you are tired of being a machine that is simply reacting to its base code, then you are ready for a system upgrade. The decision to install a new, powerful operating system is the most important executive decision you will ever make for yourself. It is the moment you decide to become the programmer of your own mind. You can make that decision right now. Subscribe to this channel. This is your software development kit. This is your installation guide. Join the community of men who are choosing to write their own code. The ascension from BIOS man to OS man is the journey of installing a powerful, conscious, and rational layer of software on top of your primal hardware. This new operating system is your chosen philosophy of life. For our purposes, the most robust, secure, and high-performance OS a man can install is Stoicism. The function of this OS is to manage the powerful but chaotic resources of the BIOS and to direct them toward a productive and virtuous purpose. The installation is a deliberate and multi-step process. The first step of any new installation is to create a secure partition. You cannot install a clean OS on a corrupted hard drive. You must first wall off a secure, protected section of your mind. This act of partitioning is the Stoic dichotomy of control. You must, with the clarity of a master programmer, draw a line between the system you can control and the external network you cannot. You create a secure partition that contains only your thoughts, your judgments, and your actions. This becomes a protected space where your new OS will be installed. Everything else, other people's reactions, external events, the outcomes of your efforts, is defined as an external network. It is full of potential viruses, and you will no longer allow it to have administrative access to your core system. This single act creates the internal security necessary for the rest of the installation to proceed. The second step is to write the core code of the kernel. The kernel is the absolute heart of an operating system. It's the code that controls everything. The kernel of your new Stoic OS is your personal constitution of virtues. This is not a vague idea of being a good person. This is you sitting down like a programmer and writing the specific lines of code that will govern every decision your OS makes. You must define your non-negotiable principles. You might write a line of code that says, if action lacks integrity, then abort. You might write another that says, if fear is present, then execute program courage.exe. You define in clear terms that your system will be governed by the laws of wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. This core code becomes the unchanging logic that your OS will refer to for every single operation. The third step is to install and run your antivirus and maintenance programs. This is a practice of daily system scans through Stoic journaling and reflection. An OS that is not maintained will eventually become slow and corrupted. At the end of each day, you must run a diagnostic. You review the day's performance logs. You ask, at what points a day did a BIOS program override the OS? What was the trigger? Was there a malware of a negative judgment that caused a system error? This evening review is not about shaming machine. It is about debugging the code. You identify the glitches. You quarantine the malware of your own irrational thoughts, and you ensure that your system is running cleaner and more efficiently every single day. The final step in this initial installation is to configure your firewall. A high-performance system must be protected from external attacks. Your firewall is your set of clear, firm, and enforced boundaries. The BIOS man has no firewall. His system is open to any and all malicious attacks from manipulators, energy vampires, and toxic people. The OS man configures a powerful firewall. Based on the core code of his virtues, he defines what kind of data and what kind of users are not allowed to access a system. Disrespect is blocked. Manipulation is flagged and quarantined. The constant drama from others is redirected to spam. This is not a passive system. It is an active defense. When a malicious actor tries to breach your firewall by crossing a boundary, the system doesn't get emotional. It simply and calmly enforces a rule. It blocks the connection. The act of setting and enforcing boundaries is a firewall that protects your newly installed high-performance mind from the viruses of the outside world. When a man has completed this installation, when he has partitioned his mind, written his core code of virtue, committed to daily maintenance, and configured his firewall, he has completed the first great upgrade of his life. He is no longer the chaotic, reactive machine, a slave to his base code. He is now the OS man. He is a high-performance system. He is logical, he is disciplined, he is secure, and he is incredibly effective. He has not destroyed his BIOS, The primal power is still there, but he has put a powerful, rational operating system in charge. He can manage his old impulses. He can achieve his goals. He can navigate the world with a new and profound sense of control. He is the prince, the gladiator, the captain of his own ship. But a computer, no matter how powerful its operating system, is still just a machine executing a program. It is a magnificent tool, but it is a tool nonetheless. It has logic, but does it have true consciousness? The final, and most profound, ascension is not about installing a better program or a faster processor. It is about waking up and realizing that you are not the computer at all. You are the user. We have left our hero at the dawn of a new age. He has completed the most significant upgrade of his life, moving beyond the chaotic, reactive programming of his instinctual bios. He has installed a powerful and logical operating system based on the principles of Stoicism. He is no longer machine slave to its base code. He is a high-performance computer. He is the prince, the gladiator, the captain, a man of discipline, reason, and formidable effectiveness. He is, for the first time, in control. And it is here, at this peak of control and logical power, that he encounters the subtle and seductive limitations of his new reality. To the outside world, he is a success. But inside, the OS man faces a new set of challenges that prevent his final and most profound ascension. The first great limit of the OS man is the rigidity of the code. His power comes from his logic, his rules, and his disciplined routines. This makes him strong, but it can also make him brittle. Life is not always logical. It is filled with nuance, paradox, and moments that require emotional intelligence that transcends a simple set of rules. The OS man can become a robot of virtue, following the letter of his philosophical law, but missing its spirit. He might struggle with spontaneity, with playfulness, with the beautiful, chaotic, and irrational aspects of a deep connection. His obsession with order can make him afraid of anything that doesn't fit neatly into his system. The second danger is the fear of a system crash. The OS man's peace comes from a system working. His tranquility is conditional on his ability to maintain control. Therefore, his new hidden fear is the fear of chaos, an event so unexpected and overwhelming that it could crash his entire operating system. He is attached to the feeling of being in control, and this attachment is a new, more sophisticated form of slavery. The philosopher Nietzsche spoke of the tension between the Apollonian force of order and reason, the OS, and the Dionysian force of chaos, passion, and instinct, the bios. The OS man, in his quest for control, often tries to completely delete the Dionysian, not realizing that a life without its passionate energy is a life that is not fully lived. This leads to the final limitation. He is a master of the program, but he is still just a part of the machine. He has learned to execute his code with flawless precision, but he is not yet the conscious creator who sits behind it all. This is what calls a man to the final ascension. The journey is no longer about installing a better program. It is about waking up and realizing you are not the computer at all. You are the user. This is the ultimate paradigm shift. It is the awakening of true consciousness. The journey from OS man to the user is not about adding a new skill or a new piece of code. It is a profound shift in identity. It is the moment of realization, often achieved through deep self-reflection, that you are not your thoughts, however logical they may be. You are not your primal urges, however powerful they feel. You are the silent, calm, and ever-present awareness that is observing both the BIOS and the OS. You are the consciousness looking at the screen. The user is the Stoic sage, the Jungian self, the master of the entire system. This ascension transforms a man's relationship with himself. It is a journey of integration, not suppression. First, the user reevaluates his relationship with the BIOS. The OS man saw his primal instincts and emotions as viruses to be quarantined, as bugs to be patched. The user sees the BIOS as a wise, ancient, and trusted advisor. It is the voice of millions of years of evolution. He does not let it take control of the machine, but he listens to its input with deep respect. He feels a flash of anger and asks, "What boundary is this signal telling me has been crossed?" He feels a gut-level intuition and asks, "What data is my primal self sensing that my logical mind has missed?" He integrates his shadow. He honors the power of the beast, and in doing so, he harnesses its energy instead of fighting it. Second, The user refines his relationship with the OS. The OS man can become a dogmatist, a slave to the rules of his own program. The user sees the OS, his stoic principles, his discipline, his logical frameworks, as a magnificent and highly customizable tool, but a tool nonetheless. He is the master programmer. He can update the code with new wisdom. He can choose to temporarily override a rule if a specific situation, in his higher wisdom, calls for a more nuanced or compassionate response. He is not a servant to the code of Stoicism. He is a master who wields its principles with wisdom and flexibility. This leads to the ultimate expression of human freedom, the power of conscious command. The OS man acts virtuously because his programming dictates it. He does the right thing because it is a logical thing to do. The user does the right thing because he understands, from a place of deep, conscious awareness, why it is the right thing. His virtue is no longer a set of rules he follows. It is a natural expression of his enlightened character. His actions are not the output of program, but the willful choice of a conscious and free being. So what does this man, this final and most complete of the three operating systems, look like in the world? His presence is one of effortless command and profound peace. He is not rigid like the OS man, nor is he chaotic like the BIOS man. He is a perfect synthesis. He can be playful and spontaneous, tapping into the creative energy of his BIOS. He can be ruthlessly logical and disciplined, deploying his OS to solve complex problems. And through it all, the user, his calm, conscious, and unshakable awareness, is always at the helm. He moves through life with a state of grace, a powerful flow that comes from having no internal friction. In his relationships, he is the ultimate partner. He is the master of his entire system, and he can use it to create a profound connection. He can listen to his partner's emotional chaos, a BIOS level event, and run it through the powerful software of his OS, offering logical clarity and a stable presence. He can also choose to shut down the OS for a moment and connect with her on that same deep, primal, passionate level, without losing himself in it. He is a man who can be both a rock of stability and a force of passionate nature, because through it all, the user is in command. He provides a relationship that is simultaneously secure and thrilling, the ultimate synthesis that women crave. His freedom is absolute because he holds the administrative password to his own soul. He is not afraid of any internal state, because he knows he is the one who has the power to manage the entire system. He is not afraid of his anger. He is not afraid of his fear, and he is not afraid of his joy. He is the user, and they are all just programs he can choose to run. This is the ultimate meaning of Stoic tranquility or apatheia. The journey of your masculine mind is the greatest technological evolution you will ever experience. You begin with the raw, chaotic, and powerful hardware of your BIOS. Through conscious effort, you install the logical and effective OS of a chosen philosophy. And finally, through deep wisdom and self-awareness, you awaken to the truth that you are, and always have been, the user. The choice is not what software you are running, but who is sitting at the keyboard. Are you a machine reacting to its programming? Or are you the conscious, sovereign mind that is in command of the entire system? This is the final frontier of self-mastery. What is one program, one automatic reaction from your BIOS that you are committed to bringing under the conscious control of your OS this week? Let us know in the comments below. Declaring your intention is the first step to rewriting your own code. If you are ready to continue this journey, to claim your place as the master user of your own mind, and to achieve a state of true freedom and power, then subscribe to this channel. This is not just a place to get information. It is a community of men who are actively working to become the conscious programmers of their own reality.